Hey everyone, it's me, Michael Giudicissi of Sounding Board Executive Coaching. Hope all of my leaders are doing well today and enjoying your week. Welcome to Leadership Lesson number 3. And Leadership Lesson number 3 is about being wrong. So, simple question for all of my leaders out there. And it doesn't matter what you lead. You lead a company, you lead a department, you lead a team, you lead a family, you lead whatever. Are you allowed to be wrong as a leader? Simple question. What do you think? And when I say allowed to be wrong, I don't necessarily mean by your supervisor, your partner, whoever it might be. Do you allow yourself to be wrong as a leader? What do you think? Because being wrong allows for learning lessons. But many leaders in our country, in business, in industry, in their private lives, don't allow themselves the privilege of being wrong. And what they do is they beat themselves up over being wrong. Over making a wrong decision. And I'm guilty of this myself at times. And so they don't allow the learning that comes from that because they're too busy chastising themselves for being wrong. So the leaders I work with are absolutely, positively allowed to be wrong. But that's not really where it ends. In fact, if you really want to get the most from your team, your people, those you are leading, I encourage you to be wrong. Now, I'm not encouraging you to be wrong all the time, every time. But think about this. If you always drive under the speed limit every time, you have zero chance of ever getting a speeding ticket. There's just no way it can happen. But you'll never get anywhere at the same speed as other people. Without some risk, there is little to no reward. I encourage the leaders that I work with to be wrong occasionally, to make big and bold decisions that may not pan out. Why? Because often action trumps everything else. The ability to sit back and analyze, measure, and then eventually, finally, some point in the future, make a decision might be great in some situations, but in other situations, sometimes we need action and we need it now. And I encourage those leaders to make decisions, even if they may be wrong, because by making a wrong decision, you'll get a better sense of who your team is, those you are leading, what their capabilities are, and what they and / you might do differently in the future. Make sense? If you don't allow yourself to be wrong, you'll never get there. If I don't encourage you, or no one, or you don't encourage yourself to occasionally be wrong in your decision-making process, you're really limiting your learning opportunities. You're encapsulating them in this very, very small area, and you're not likely to ever reach your potential as a leader, but most importantly, your team will likely never reach their potential as a unit. But I actually go one step farther. It's for me not just allowing or encouraging leaders to be wrong. The leaders I work with, I require them to be wrong. At some point in their career, at some point in my work with them, I require them to be wrong. I don't want a leader. Forget about your team, your family, your organization. I don't want a leader that has never been in that situation, in that place where they've been wrong. They have to fix it. They have to rally the troops. They have to come up with a better plan. Because when the inevitable happens, and disaster hits, that leader is not prepared. I'm pushing the leaders I work with, I'm requiring them to make a decision at some point that's probably going to be wrong. You have to make it. You have to learn. You have to grow. Growth comes from that area of being uncomfortable. If you don't even allow yourself to be wrong, you're not being uncomfortable. The only thing you're uncomfortable with is the thought of being wrong. If I encourage you to be wrong, you'll learn more about your team because you'll put them in situations where they are uncomfortable, where they will learn their capabilities. They'll learn new strategies, new directions. And I require you to be wrong. I require to push you to the point that you're going to make a decision that you're going to have to answer for, you're going to have to learn from, you're going to have to come back from and say, I won't do that again. I won't ever do that again, but here's why, and here's what I'll do the next time. And I know, I'm confident that this will work. Too often, we put leaders in place and we want them to be perfect. Leaders are people. There are no perfect people. Zero. Leaders are supposed to be, or are seen as being more perfect than the people that report to them. Wrong again. Leaders are people that encourage, people that train, teach, motivate, people that bring others to a common goal or a common success. But not every time. You can get in the Hall of Fame in baseball by hitting .350 or .375, getting one hit every 3 times you come to bat. If you can be wrong 10% of the time as a leader, you can create a new super Hall of Fame that no one else is a part of. But if you can look back at your career and say, I've never really been wrong, I've never had the big mistake, I've never done anything like that, well, congratulations. You've had a nice, safe, mediocre career. When you look back and go, I failed and flamed out spectacularly there, but I recovered. My team was with me. I led them through that fire, and I brought them to a place where they had even more confidence in me and my abilities and this company's direction. That's when you're a true leader. So think about it. Allow yourself to be wrong. Encourage yourself occasionally to be wrong, and require yourself at some point in your career to make that mistake so that you can come out the other side and be the leader that your company, your team, your family needs. I'm Michael Giudicissi for Sounding Board Executive Coaching. This has been Leadership Lesson number 3. If you need help with leadership, any sort of guidance, goal setting, motivation for your organization, just give me a call at the number below or email me at the email address and we'll talk more about it. Until next time, go lead, even if you make a mistake.